Alright, I'm going to show you how to drop a down stem. Now, you've made yourself some sort of can with a hole in it there for where the down stem's going to go. And you got that in the kiln, heating up, getting ready to go. And then you got whatever tube you were going to make your down stem with. In my case here, I got some 9.5 because I'm working on recyclers. So I'm going to take a relatively soft, low heat flame. I'm going to punny up to this here, and I'm going to pull out what is going to become the down stem. I would like mine a little narrower than 9.5. And you're going to do a little bit extra, a little longer than you actually want it to be. So, alright, there's mine. And so here you're going to have a flame that's somewhat wide, soft still. Guess I don't really have to change it if you set it right. We're going to heat up the actual 9.5 just before it tapers down into what you pulled. And heat up like a nice little section here. Don't get it super hot. Just hot enough so it starts to move. You can see that bulge just started. So now keep spinning it. You can pull it out of the flame and slowly push that together to make a nice Maria. So now you got this your Maria with this down stem piece here. You actually bring it over to your, this is the best way, is to actually check how long you need it to be. So right there you can see about how long I need to cut off. Looks to be not quite a centimeter, close. Maybe 3/8 of an inch for all you non-metric people. I go back and forth myself, but so I pulled off that. Don't pull off too much, like you can't add it back, so you're best doing little increments. I've done a lot of these, pretty sure I got this, plus I gotta make a little bubble here. So I'm gonna check and see that this fits before I pop my holes. See, and that's still a little on the long side. It could be bent. So I think I'm gonna make it just slightly shorter. A lot of things in glass are done in your setup, which is essentially like right now I'm getting it ready for that fusion, and if you sort of half-ass that part, the rest of it is gonna be a bitch. But if you take the time to make sure your setup is proper, like in this case that it fits, like I keep going back and checking to make sure that it fits, and see, that's pretty good, but it's not quite at the angle that it's supposed to be. Let me give it just a little bend. And use really soft heat, especially because this is so small here. And I don't think it takes much of a bend. There's other angling that will go on once you put it in there, so little slight things like how it's going to sit on the bottom here, which that looks pretty good. But you know, see, it can kind of do that after you put it in, so you have a little bit of variance to mess with it there. So That looks good. We can pop our holes. They're my holes, actually, not your holes, so I'll be doing the popping. Thank you very much. I know I said we, but you pop your own holes. Alright, so we got that. Now I'm going to put an ear plug in here. And get my can out of the kiln. Now you might be doing things slightly different. I prefer most of the time, sometimes it changes, but most of the time I flatten my bottom, put a point up to the bottom, and then I work the rest of the piece from there. I like how it centers the piece, makes for a much cleaner build. But this would still work if you had your point there on a different piece. You'd just be putting it in upside down. Alright, so we're going to get it set right in here, just how you want it for the most part. And I'm going to heat one little spot on the bottom here and try and get it to just tack, basically, just to like hold itself right where I want it. And I'm going to carefully move over to the top. Do the same thing. Sometimes it's not as easy to get to happen on the top. You got to warm up the bottom, and yeah. There we go. So I got it on the top. You can go to the two sides sometimes and get the whole thing to seal, but a lot of times I don't even seal it. See, you see as I blow through it, it's not airtight yet. So now I'm going to cut off, probably leaving a little too much. There we go. On these they snake around. If you're just going to put a banger hanger right there, you could make yours a little shorter than this. Mine actually, whatever, will end up bending around. So I like to have a little extra. So, some reason it just cracked on me there. Hopefully it's just my fusions, because I'm talking and taking my time. I usually go through these as quick as I can. So it looks like most of the gaps are over here. You can see the gap when you're blowing it in the flame, even if they're small. See? Right there. Alright. So that thing's all sealed up. A lot of people would think you'd use a hand torch for this, and I do a teeny bit, but I like a brushy flame, and I try not to hit like one spot, like a pinpoint sort of thing. I do it in quarters. So here I'm gonna like rock back and forth and get the bottom. And you can see a couple heats. I don't overheat it. I just get it kind of soft. You can see that clean that up pretty good. So now I'm actually gonna just like let it cool down a teeny bit. Sometimes you can even blow on it just a teeny bit, just so that when you go up and do here, your heat doesn't move over there and get shit flopping around. And again, I'm just going to do it like in little bits at a time. And you want to move back and forth. Like the heat and gravity always affects everything quite a bit. So like you want to heat this side a little bit, then you want to heat this side a little bit, and back and forth. Almost everything in glass that you do, you're going to want to do like that. So that part's pretty clean. So the top and bottom are pretty clean. Sometimes I actually, instead of quartered, it's actually like sixes almost. And you'll find the more you do, the more it like cleans up really quick. The more other spots are clean, basically. See that? That whole side's nice and clean now. Let it cool down a little bit. One of the biggest beginner mistakes of glass blowing is getting things way too hot. Alright, see, that's fairly good. Now, one last thing you can do here. Don't get, I'm going to heat the whole thing, but I'm going to do it, whoop, really started sagging there. There, now I can get that adjusted just right. And I got it a little too hot, which caused this part to move more than I wanted it to. That's not bad. This is gonna snake all around, so. Alright, so there's the downstem in there. Another thing is if you have any divot spots, like I just realized I did, then you can pinpoint them out with your hand torch. And it's just using teeny tiny flames when you do that. Alright. So hope that helps you guys out there. Dirty B out. Have a good one.